Well, even though the Astros were denied the sweep today, they won yet another series. Cam Smith tried to help the winning ways along with Jake Myers. Let's talk about this and what's to look ahead on this week on Locked On Astros.
Jainel Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we update to join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talks Astros. You find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok at Stros411 on X and on Facebook, and Back to the Bullpen on X, on Instagram, on iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm always positive, always Stros.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead, subscribe to us. Make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go ahead and make the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen. Brett and I have over 16 years combined of podcasting between me on Talking Astros on Sports Talk 790, and Brett is doing Back to Bullpen with Mike Stanton. Go and check us out. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets with your when your first $5 bet wins. So, Brett, I know that the Astros had a 4-2 road trip. We'll talk about that in a second. But the big story of today is Brandon Walters. I think that I know I keep on trying to say Walters, but it's actually just Walter. He pitched really good. And I think that he should be up here once they go back to a 5-man rotation over Ryan Gusto. You know, I'm not the biggest Ryan Gusto fan, but also you had a 4-2 road trip for the Astros. And please, I know it's a rest day, but no more Jeremy Pena at the DH. He struggled today offensively, and a former first-round pick was DFA'd by the Houston Astros today. So that's kind of what we're talking about today. And let's go and talk about Mr. Walter today. He looked good out there for his second straight start. I know he's had some spot starts, but he has a 1-point-something ERA, and he has some quality starts, at least quality start today. And I think this guy, he doesn't wow you out there with stuff. He's a kind of a journeyman type of guy, but from what we've seen, he deserves to be up here instead of Ryan Gusto once they go back down to a 5-man rotation.
Yeah, exactly, Eric. And they were talking to him afterwards, and they asked him if he knew what the plan was going forward. He just said, I know in the next 5 or 6 days I'll be pitching somewhere. So all I can worry about is pitching. I can't worry about where it's going to be. No, I thought it was good because, you know, he doesn't know. And today's game results were actually really good for him. 6 innings. Yeah, he gave up the 6 hits, but only 2 earned runs, Eric. 5 strikeouts, the 1 home run. So this guy's got a 1.64 ERA. You would have loved for him to have gotten the victory today. It just wasn't in the cards. And so you need someone like this because obviously we know the guys that have gone down. We know the guys that have not yet come back. We know whether it's Arrighetti or Garcia or Javier. We know we got McCullers back. McCullers is doing a fine job. So if you can get Brandon Walter to come up here and be successful, and Cleveland's not a bad hitting team, Eric. I mean, they are a team that can be anemic at times. And I talked to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show about that, how I think the Astros and the Guardians are about as even as you can get. Like if we were to have a matchup right now with the Guardians and the Astros in like an ALDS 5-game series, could see that series going all 5 games. Now, I think the Astros have the edge in pitching, and you would have someone like Walter in a playoff scenario would be a guy that would come in off, out of the bullpen, not be a starter. But from now until the All-Star break, if this guy can get some stuff done, why not keep him up here? Love the success. There is a guy in AAA, Miguel Uola, who is phenomenal, and I think will get an opportunity. But I think you just hold him off, allow him to keep having success, because Brendan Walter, you say right here for the rotation with an exclamation point. Some people may have it with a question mark, but I would not be upset if they.
It was a statement. It wasn't a question. It was a statement.
Well,
he needs to be in a rotation. No more Gusto. With what I've seen from Gusto, I know that the Astros are about to go on a 13-game a day streak where they're going to play 13 games in a row. And Joe Espada was asked about it after game, and he said, well, we're going to evaluate the situation, but with the way he's pitched, he's got a 1.64 ERA. Yes, it was a small sample size. He did give up the home run, and it was a blast of the home run that he gave up. But the first start, it was 5 innings, no runs. In this start, it was 6 innings, 2 runs. And I know Gusto had some great starts to start the year, but that was before they moved him back to the bullpen, and then they moved him back to the rotation. He just is not stretched out. He does not have the same gusto, so to speak, that he had in that first appearance. So I just think that if you want to have a winning team, you need to put your best guys out there. And that's what I think Walter is right now. Is he the answer long-term? No, he's not the answer long-term. But if he is, let's give him a chance, because so far he's impressing out there. And Jose Ramirez, he's no slouch, and he's always a danger to face. And he got 1 hit today, but overall, Bo Naylor was the guy that did the most damage, and he's batting 187, but we know that when he gets a hold of the ball, he gets a hold of the ball.
So it's funny you mentioned that, because in the series preview with the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show through Locked On Podcast Network, one of the hosts said, is the Bo Naylor experiment over with? And they were actually talking about that before I came on. And I think he's kind of worn out his welcome with a lot of fans. The Guardians are that team, Eric, that seem to always be competitive. They have guys that are likable, like Jose Ramirez. They've got Steven Kwan. And the Guardians aren't a team that you don't go out of your way to root against the Guardians, right? They're just that team that's there, right? The good old Cleveland Guardians of old. And then, but this is a series that if the Astros didn't get their 2-out, magic like they've been doing, and they didn't score runs with 2 outs, they could have easily lost this 3-game series. But it's another series win. And like you mentioned, to win 4 out of your 6 games on the road is huge, because coming up next, you're going to have, after this day off, you're going to have 13 games in 13 days, a mixture of home and road games.
Yeah. So going back to the Ryan Gusto thing, like if you look at his past few starts, he has a last one, it was 4.1 innings, 3.2, 4.1. Then he was in the bullpen for a while there. So 1 inning, 2.1, 2. Then go back to April 29th, 4.1. The last time he went more than 5 innings was April 23rd. That was before they kind of moved him back to the rotation. So he's just not getting it done. He hasn't thrown more than 83 pitches since his move back to the rotation. Mm-hmm. Brandon Walter is stretched out. He is somebody that you've kept down in AAA. You have done what you're supposed to do with a spot starter. And I just think that Gusto, I know he's set to pitch on Tuesday, and you're probably going to have a 6-man rotation. But at some point, you got to make the decision. And if Walter keeps on making this hard for Joe Espada and Dana Brown, then go ahead and send Gusto down. Give him a chance
Eric,
to get extended.
Eric, just to reemphasize your point there on him, when you look at his splits in the minor leagues in AAA, he was 3-1 with a 2.08 ERA. He had 49 strikeouts and 47.2 innings. He had a 0.76 whip. So yeah, I think if there has to be a move and it's Gusto or him, to me, it's Gusto automatically. You love to see this. When guys step up, Eric, it is time to just basically deliver. And this is one of those games where you had wished that your offense would come through and score a few more runs.
Yeah, we'll talk about the next, but watch Walter's next start is a bad one, and we kind of change our tune. But that's what we do. We are the Locked On Astros podcast, and we'll go and continue the discussion next.
You and I live in a world full of snacks that don't benefit us any. Yeah, they're good, and we love them. But why don't you get cracking with Wonderful Pistachios go to wonderfulpistachios.com today. It's delicious and nutritious. When you crack into the source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios, you'll never walk away feeling guilty about it. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. I personally love the pistachios with the shells on. I like cracking the shell open. I love the crunch. And not only does it have 10% of your daily value protein, it also has the 9 essential amino acids that you need. And it is a big deal to me when I get nutrition when I snack. So get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. It takes a second. There's a little red button down there. All you have to do is press it and go ahead and make us happy. We're getting really close to 14,000 subscribers. We haven't reached it. I haven't checked today, but Brett, we're getting really close. So guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make us your first listen every day. So I know the Astros didn't finish this sweep. I know the offense was a little off today. When I say a little off, they have had a trouble scoring in this series overall. Yes, they won the previous 2 games, but they haven't scored a lot of runs before the 6th inning in the series. And this is something that the Astros have struggled with all season, but this is something that they struggled with today. Yes, Cam Smith had a big game tying not home run, but double. And he was always super excited. So if you see the thumbnail, that's why we had it on there. But he was really pumped because it tied the game at that moment. But I kind of put as the headliner for this offensive segment, no more Jeremy Pena as DH. He needs to be out there playing defense. We're talking about one of the best hitters in the game, and he had an over today. Well, of course. I mean, he's more accustomed to playing. And so he had 3 strikeouts today. He lowered his batting average, his on-base percentage, and increased his strikeout rate. I'm kidding. I know that it wasn't really because he was playing DH, but sometimes players feel comfortable.
Well, we've experienced that with Jordan, and we know that Jordan going forward is going to primarily be a DH when he does return, when he's healthy. But yeah, you saw a couple shots when they concentrated on him in the dugout, and he looked like he was not having a lot of fun, but he's still hitting 316, still having 853 OPS, everything in this year. He is having a career year. And Eric, you can compare his numbers to Bobby Witt Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And Bobby Witt Jr. is kind of like, he's going to be a shoe-in top 3 MVP candidate every year as long as he's healthy. And Jeremy Pena, if they were to end the season today, I think would be top 3 MVP voting. I'm not saying he would win, but he could possibly win Silver Slugger this year. He could win Gold Glove. And we do know that they do have these scheduled day of rest off. That's just the modern game of baseball. I think that's what a lot of the older players don't necessarily like, but that's the business side of it. You know, you hate to erase Yanner Diaz 2 for 4 and Jake Myers 4 for 4, but the Astros as a team were only 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. That one hit, what?
Don't forget about Shea Whitcomb. He played today.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, I'm trying to talk about people that did something in the game. Shea Whitcomb went 0 for 3 today. But seriously, Jake Myers 4 for 4 today, had a 4-hit game, brought his average over 300. And you would have liked those things to produce more than 2 runs, but that is the team that we've seen. The team that we haven't seen, Eric, is the team that's performed the way it's done over the last 6 games. But let's not just focus on Jeremy Pena being DH or Jake Myers going for 4 for 4 or Shea Whitcomb going over 3. Jake Myers, Eric, in the month of June, he's hitting .381. Okay. He's got 8 hits and 21 at bats. He's got 2 doubles, doesn't have any home runs, but he does have 3 walks and only 2 strikeouts. Jake Myers is having a career year. And I want to see this Jake Myers on July 4th, on August 4th, September 4th. And I think he's really retooled his swing and he looks good. So it's promising going forward.
Yeah, so Jake Myers is actually the first Astros player to have 4 hits and 2 steals in a game since Kyle Tucker did it back September 14th of 2019.
Wow.
So what he's doing is actually very impressive. And I know a lot of people wrote him off to start the season, but this is why you can't write off players. You have to understand that sometimes these guys need a little bit of time to figure out things. He's dealt with injuries over the years and I think that now he's kind of feeling like himself. He knows what his role is, and you've seen him even bat 5th at some point this season. Maybe it was 6th, but they're moving him up in the lineup at times. But he is comfortable with where he is right now, and he feels a lot more confident. And so the Astros overall, they're still not the offensive juggernaut you're used to like they've been in the past, but they're getting to the point where they're winning. 4 out of the last 6 games on the road. That's something that they're struggling with earlier in the season is winning on the road. They're playing better at home. So you're seeing them win a little bit better. I know that they did lose a game in the standings because the Mariners won today, but that's okay. You still got that lead, but you got time. It's going to fluctuate.
Yeah, I believe you are 2.5 games up. And so, look, honestly, it doesn't necessarily matter to me if they're 2.5 games up, 6 games up, as long as they keep the pressure and they take care of business. It doesn't matter what the other team does, as long as you're right there with them or you're a little bit ahead, because in the long run, I do think this team has a lot more in the tank to be able to they had a scary thing in Seattle. Julio Rodriguez took off on a 2-out, whenever there's full count, 2 outs, the runner takes off. Well, he took off from 2nd to 3rd. And I think a ball like 100-something miles an hour off the bat hit him right either in the shin or the ankle. He actually had left the game. Luckily, nothing was wrong. I mean, we've seen our share of bone breaks and bone injuries, but it looked brutal when it first happened. And, they've got Leody Taveras and other guys they brought in. Their pitchers are starting to get healthy. So it's important that the Astros continue this momentum in going forward and getting a little bit more out of their offense. They've got to keep going for that long ball. They've got to keep trying to score. They love when there's 2 outs. They love scoring when there's 2 outs. And I just hope that that's a recipe for success going forward.
To kind of close out on this segment, Jose Altuve was also out of the lineup today, and Espada said that was just trying to take care of him. And also he said about Jeremy Pena, he's been playing fast. He's been playing really good. He's on the bases. He's diving for balls. So just trying to take care of his legs a little bit. And so, like you said, you're going to have times where you're going to take guys out or just set them or play them at DH. We've seen Jose Altuve play DH a lot, but a lot of people have been calling for Shea Whitcomb to get some playing time. And sometimes you're going to have that in a situation like today where Altuve sits in favor of Whitcomb. And then you have DH situations so where you can have somebody play like the Jeremy Pena. So that's the good thing about the DH spot is you can bring people in and bring people out. And so it's good to see Cam Smith kind of getting that success. He's still not having that instant impact like a lot of people had, but even Christian, what's his name over in Boston? No, Christian, the second baseman over at.
Yes, I know you're talking about. Yeah, the rookie second baseman. Okay,
yeah. A lot of people are talking about maybe he needs to go down to AAA to work on some things because he's struggling a little bit. So, not all rookies catch on right away. So it takes a little bit of time.
But, Eric, I mean, a 691 OPS, 3 home runs, 41 hits, 246 average, 326 on base percentage. It's not terrible. You know what I'm saying? Cam Smith has confidence. Okay, Christian Campbell. He has the confidence. He has like the know-how out in the outfield. And dude, how do we not talk about Jacob Melton? Oh, Jacob Melton and right field.
The catch.
Yeah,
Jacob we'll have
Melton,
to talk about that next.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, and we want to talk about Dubon as well, his defense.
Yeah, also a former first-round pick was DFA'd. Who is that? We'll talk about that next.
All right, everybody, this episode is brought to you by GameTime. GameTime is the place that you go to get tickets. And what is great about GameTime is that when you download the app today, if you're new to it, use the code LOCKEDONMLB, you get $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. You don't have to plan in advance. You don't have to get tickets 5 or 6 months from now. You can wait till the day of the game. You can wait till the day of the concert. I mean, why not? And with the money that you save on the tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch. You can even invite a bigger group to come with you. GameTime makes it all possible. It makes tickets, purchasing them fast and easy. In the app, you can see exactly where you're sitting. You can get a view of the ballpark. You don't have to worry about games selling out because they're always there at GameTime. It's the official ticketing partner of Locked On MLB, and it makes it easy for the last minute tickets, zone deals for big savings. I've used them. Eric used them. So download the GameTime app today and create an account. Use the code Locked On MLB for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the GameTime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us, make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check out Michael Connor with the Locked On Astros podcast as well. And we will go ahead and keep you apprised of all the Astros moves that happen over the next few months. But what a play by Jacob Melton. I mean, it looked like he almost could have broken his neck with the way he slid into that wall. That was very dangerous. He threw his whole body into that ground, to the wall, and he made a 4-star catch. That was a big play in that game, and helped the Astros win in the 10th inning.
No, that was huge. He literally sacrificed life and limb. Jacob Melton has always been rated as an above average fielder, a very good fielder. He's been doing great in left field as well. And not only was Jacob Melton showing off the glove in right field when he was there, but Mauricio Dubon, 2 different plays in the same inning, in the first inning, throws a runner out trying to extend a single into the double. One of them was Jose Ramirez. And Dubon, and I just tweeted out, Mauricio Dubon has a cannon and, signed Dusty Baker. Because remember, Dusty Baker used to tell us he has a cannon, and he absolutely gunned those runners down. Those are the kind of plays, Eric, that help your team. Those are the kind of plays that make your pitchers into elite pitchers. And that's why pitching coaches will say you've got to throw strikes because you have a defense behind you. And I'm pretty sure that whether you're a starter or relief pitcher on this team, that you have confidence that no matter what happens with the ball coming off the bat, that your defense has your back. So like when you see Jeremy Pena not playing shortstop, you're like, oh no, our best shortstop's not playing shortstop. But they have so many guys on the field that can do it. So it was so good to see Melton doing that. And he looks the part. The kid looks good. And I love Melton out there. I love having Dubon out there switching out. DeCenzo, I wish he was out there contributing. He's not. But Jake Myers is kind of the quarterback of that outfield. So it's really good to see, especially guys that are top prospects. You want them to pan out.
Yeah. So the Astros bullpen has been a big surprise for the Astros this year. I know they kind of let them down today. Kurt had an error that led to the Astros losing this game. They lost today 5-4 4-2. It was 4-2, and Kurt was on the hook for the loss. But this bullpen has become very competitive, and you have to earn your stripes. I know that Caleb Ort, he has a 6.06 ERA, but the Astros see something in him that they're going to give him a little bit of time. But former first-round pick Forrest Whitley, he took a long time. He was drafted all the way back in 2016. And this is a guy that had a lot of either drug suspensions, injuries, something that kind of held his career back. But this was supposed to be the year. Even Dana Brown went out of his way to make sure he had the extra minor year option technically. So before he was made a free agent this past offseason, the Astros did everything they could to have this guy be a success. Just think about all the trades that Forrest Whitley was mentioned early in his career, and the Astros said no because they're like, no, this is our guy. We want this guy to be the top of our rotation.
And that's the thing. I mean, you can always now look back, hindsight's always 20/20, but at the time it was insane. I mean, people did the same thing with Kyle Tucker, Eric. He was included in just about every bit of trade talk when he was making his way through the minor leagues. But look, Forrest Whitley, having communicated with him off and on this last year and last offseason, I just know how much work he's put in. I know how he has basically not allowed discouragement to set in. I know his wife and his dad are real big proponents of why he has still had this opportunity. Because when you struggle like that, the number one thing you need around you is a support system. And look, this is a lesson, I think, for everybody that has a kid that you want your child playing Major League Baseball. It's a 1 or 2% sport, okay? Not many people make it. And even the people that do make it, they don't all make it. So you've got to realize that this guy has probably built in him a character that whenever him and his wife have kids one day, he's going to give a legacy to them, and he's going to take these lessons. Now, he's DFA'd. I don't know if anybody picks him up. He could end up back in AAA Sugarland, with the Astros if he doesn't get picked up. But you just hate to see it after so many opportunities and then roadblock after roadblock. I remember even watching him hit the mound the first time in Sugarland, so excited, and it was like, the second time he went out, he went down. And so I hate to see it. He's a good kid. He's a grinder, but sometimes it's just not in the cards. It doesn't mean it's 100% over, but it's just getting ever so close to where Forrest Whitley may have to think about something different in the near future.
Well, I know there's a lot of people that I think there's a lot of confusion out there, but I believe that because he has fewer than 3 years of major league service time, if nobody claims him, he cannot elect free agency. I know there's some reports that said that he could become a free agent, but if he does clear waivers, the Astros would then be able to outright him off the 40-man roster and then send him down to AAA. So he doesn't get to say, I don't want to be with the Astros. It's not like the Astros don't want him. They just need the roster spot. And Joe Espada said the stuff is really good, but we're taking into consideration who's in our bullpen and the way they're performing. And performance does matter. It was just a move that we had to make at the time. It was a very difficult one. And if you look, Brett, at the games that he pitched in, I think the 3 of his last 4 games, the Astros gave up about 10 runs or more in those games.
He had not, right. And that's the thing. He hadn't been super successful. And look, from a personal standpoint, it sucks, but from a baseball standpoint, it makes sense. And even pitchers, when they don't do well, even hitters, when they don't do well, will kind of look at themselves in the mirror and say, I should have done this or that. I mean, we're not saying that, this is a travesty. This is an injustice. I mean, it is what it is. Had he been wheeling and dealing, then somebody else gets that move thrown on them. But unfortunately, it makes sense. And in baseball, it's about who's producing. And I feel like right now they probably made the right move with this. And we'll see where he goes from here.
And Joe Spa said his career is not over. I think he has a ton of potential. I think he could use this time to reset. I would not be surprised if somebody claims him. He's talented. Right now in the situation we're in, there's just no fit. We wish him the best because I think this kid, once he figures it out, could be a weapon. And that's what we've all hoped for as Astros fans, as podcasters, as whoever you are, even the media. Everybody, you want to root for the underdog. And I know as a former first-round pick, he wasn't really the underdog for his entire career, but with everything that he dealt with. But looking back at Jeff Luno's last 4 draft picks, first-round draft picks, you have 2016, Forrest Whitley, 2017, J.B. Pistachios, then 2018, Seth Beer, 2019, Corey Lee. None of those guys really got off to a big career.
With as many accolades and credit we throw at Lunau, none of those. Now, the first round's a crapshoot, right? Yeah. I mean, there have been plenty of other guys.
Prospects. That's why the term is prospects or prates.
Well, right. Billy Bean, the author, like the creator of this whole Moneyball thing, or one of the GMs that kind of took it on. He was even a highly touted guy that was a 5-tool athlete. I mean, you never know what's going to become of somebody, and sometimes it's the kids that aren't. Look, Mike Stanton, his brother was way more highly touted than he was coming out of high school, and Mike Stanton was 19 years in the major league. So, I mean, look, sometimes it's just the hand you're dealt, and you just have to put one foot in front of the other. But we do wish Forrest all the best. If he comes back or goes somewhere else, we just wish that he has success in the future.
Maybe people see his 12.27 ERA on the season with 6 walks and 7 in the third innings.
You can't like glaze over that. You can't just be like, oh, no big deal. I mean,
his stuff is there, so somebody could claim him, but part of me hopes that he goes down AAA and works on things, and he's there, another option, because you can never have enough options for the bullpen. But if he gets claimed by another team, then great. The Astros gave him every opportunity to succeed, and unfortunately, it just didn't happen. And the bullpen is somehow, I don't know how Dana Brown did it, but the bullpen has been the success of this season, like you said earlier. So hopefully it continues, even though it kind of occurred, kind of blew today's game. But for the most part,
too. I'm joking. That's Dana Brown's a pitching coach too. You know that?
Well, the Astros have a day off on Monday, so then they start a 13-game streak where they're going to play 13 games in a row. And so thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Go ahead and check us out.
And go Stros. Don't take the White Sox lightly. They are red hot right now. So let's go take care of business.